Hey everyone, welcome to Friday. This is Nareen's Life with MS. I am Nareen. I'll try to finish today's vlog fairly quickly, but I know because I've got a lot of things to discuss that it's probably not going to be like that. But the reason I'm trying to be very quick with it is because I have to wake up early tomorrow, since tomorrow I will be going to the hospital and getting an infusion, right? It's time for my medication, so it's pretty exciting. But like I said, on Sunday, that I do want to change Funny Friday, because honestly, when I think back on the stories, I mean, I'm the only one who laugh at that. So as a result, I wanted to do something slightly different. So essentially, what I will do on Fridays is I will go on news, any news site, or actually on just Google, and just type in multiple sclerosis, try to see what are the most recent news articles that are available. And today it just happens that I have two separate articles that I do want to talk about. And both of them were released today, so I think they both deserve their time to talk about. So what I'm going to call today's series, or the Friday series, probably the Friday Flash, Friday Findings. I mean, I can call it Friday Findings, the Friday Findings, just because it's something I'm finding on Friday, right? But do let me know if Friday Flash sounds better. But Friday Findings, so on today's thing, the two things I have to talk about, and both of them are very important in their own ways. The first one I want to talk about, it's the slightly older story, which is that there has been a pharmaceutical company in India that has received US FDA approval for creating a generic version of the brand name Vumerity. Now, if someone does not know what Vumerity is, it's very similar to a daily pill that is actually used for MS, right? Especially RRMS. It has been shown to be mildly, moderately effective, and knowing, I at least have read um, you know one or two submissions by people on Reddit saying that Vumerity has worked for them, and this one one company has pretty much gotten the approval for creating the generic version of that. Now, why is that important? First of all of these MS drugs that we've had are very, very expensive on the outset, right? I mean, I remember Copaxone costing roughly around $64,000 when I was using it. And when I'm talking $64,000, that is, of course, without having insurance or anything. So it was a good thing that I did have insurance, so the cost was a lot lower. And I think I've mentioned that on Tuesday as well, that the cost was lower, but then I also found a way to further reduce the cost. But even then, I mean, most medications that are used for MS are very expensive. So getting an approval for a generic drug to be used, just makes it a lot easier for people to have access to the drug, and make their lives a little easier. Because usually one thing that does end up happening is, a lot of times when considering the weirdness of the disease that multiple sclerosis is, it becomes very there are a lot of issues when you have to go on a certain kind of treatment, because a lot of insurance companies will not cover the cost of the treatment, just given how expensive a treatment can be. I mean, I know, like, even considering that I'm on a generic drug, I still don't have approval from insurance to um, you know get this medication for to get at least reimbursement for my medication. So just finding out that there are generics being created for drugs that are effective for MS, and they are going to go out to people who might not have the means to get it because they don't have the insurance, or they don't have a good enough insurance coverage to actually cover the cost of the more brand name drugs. At least makes it a lot easier for them, and considering that it makes life easier for them, that is just great news. Now, the second news I want to get to, and this news is also something that is very interesting. And of course, because I read I just read whatever the 100-word blurb that Google News has on, or somewhere else. I don't have all of the details, but I'm pretty sure this does have good news, and that is that a certain MS drug, ofatumumab, and ofatumumab, which is known as Kesimpta, actually fared better than ocrelizumab, which is normally, I think it's Ocrevus, in terms of actually making certain conditions that exist alongside MS, like uveitis, which is something in the eyes, better for patients who actually changed from ocrelizumab to ofatumumab. And this is, of course, again, a very big thing. I mean, I don't know all the details regarding uveitis. I mean, the description was way too much. It went way too much into the science of what kind of eye condition that was. And as I've discussed previously, that my eyes have issues as well. This can actually be a huge deal for a lot of people who actually have eye conditions, or definitely uveitis to a much higher degree, or to a very high degree, and do not see the same results from if they're on whatever medication they're on, or whatever treatment they're on. So these were the two news things, the news articles that I read today regarding multiple sclerosis. And considering that this will definitely get a lot more there will definitely be more advancements to both of these news articles, or even better than that, there will be better news articles. I think I will make it a weekly thing about looking through news articles about MS and seeing what are the newest things that are coming. And considering that it was just today that I realized, why don't I search what the news is about multiple sclerosis, and not one but two articles came up, and both of them definitely good news for different people, different patients of multiple sclerosis. I think I'm going to continue with this. I definitely think Friday Findings is a better name than Friday Facts or something like that. I mean, I was trying pretty much the entire day to find a better name for what I wanted to do today, but I think Friday Findings does roll off the tongue really well. And if you've seen me, you know that I stumble on my words. So if there's something that rolls off the tongue very easily, I definitely think that that's a good thing to say. So that has been the Friday Findings I had today. I mean, definitely you can look up, try to find more information regarding any of these news articles. definitely, if you do have any updates, you can always post it on in the comments, and we can definitely start the conversation over there. I will link both of these news articles in the description section so you can actually go through it yourselves. And of course, as always, thank you so much for listening in. I hope you're all set for the weekend, considering it is Friday night. So I like to wish you a good night and hope you have a great weekend. Bye.